Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be using an eyeshadow palette that I actually got off of Reddit, and the reason I did was because it's actually not really something you can very easily get your hands on in the United States. You have to get it from China, so I'll show you guys what I'm talking about, but first I'm just very quickly putting on some primer and then I'm gonna go into my foundation. My skin was really dry and I was honestly kind of lazy about getting it all prepared skincare wise, so I'm just putting on as much hydrating primer as I possibly can, and then I'm also going to use up the last of this bottle. It was definitely truly empty after that, so it got tossed. For the foundation today, I'm going to use this from Revlon. It's just nice and hydrating, and I use it in the lightest shade. It looks very light when it first goes on, but as you can see, it has pretty light coverage, so the undertone also is a really great match for me, and it matches my neck. So after it's all blended out, it looks pretty good on me, in my humble opinion. So I'm just going to use a sponge. I'm currently using a beauty blender. It's fine, I just happen to have one. Just use some concealer. Today I decided to leave in the footage and speed it up just because sometimes I know it's fun to see how people put makeup on, so instead of editing most of it out, I decided to just speed up the right eye and then I'll just kind of jump cut through the left eye. Let me know what you guys prefer though. I'm always open to any whatever editing you guys want. I have had a lot of skin troubles lately, so I'm spot concealing some of the more prominent ones and then just tapping the edges out with a finger. Using an eye primer, just the Jaclyn one as usual. My eye primers are all AWOL. I don't know where they are and I'm probably not going to find them for quite some time, so bummer. Oops. Just using whatever brow pencil I grabbed for first, so today just so happens to be the Too Faced one. Kind of had trouble getting my eyebrows to look real symmetrical today, but whatever. They'll do. It'll be fine. I think I used the black brow flick today. No, I did not. Yeah, they're fine. Okay, and then I'm just going to use the tiniest bit of setting powder right under my eyes. Right now, with how dry things are, it's winter. I don't use very much setting powder at all, just a bare minimum amount. Sometimes I even just use a finishing powder as a setting powder, so that's why I just use a little bit. So here is the purple Deadwood palette. At the time I'm filming this, this is out of stock on the NARIMI Taobao website. Now I bought this plus one other palette from the brand from Reddit. They were completely unused and were being sold for a great deal, so of course I jumped on it. It's actually, I've had these actually in my collection for a few months now. It's just this is the first time I'm finally getting around to using it. If you go to her Taobao shopfront, you will see that it is very, very tiny. There's only a handful of products, most of them being sold out. I wanted to try and do a cut crease today. Haven't done one in a really long time. I feel like if you have certain kinds of monolids or hooded double lids, like for example like Tess Chung, she has amazing real estate and her looks always turn out so beautiful, but I feel like my particular eye shape and my distance between my eyelid and my eyebrow makes cut creases really, really hard for me, so I've never been able to get the shape right. So as you can see, I am struggle bussing here, but I really do want to get better at doing cut creases this year. I have not done too many cut creases lately just because I can never get it right, so I end up just kind of like wanting to give up, but as you can see, I am trying my best to bridge the yellow and the purple together by utilizing the shimmers, and then from there that can hopefully start to kind of craft the shape of cut crease that I want. As opposed to doing a more just standard horizontal shaped cut crease, I'm gonna try and do what Baddie Bean usually does and slope it up diagonally. I generally find that looks a little bit better on me. I also did add a little bit more of like that more purple tone shimmer, but you can barely see it, so ooh, meh. In the end, it just kind of looks like I mixed two shimmers together, which is fine. They both are really, really pretty, but I don't necessarily think I needed to use both. I don't think it really mattered. And then I'm gonna use the purple shade on the outer corner of the lower lash line. However, later on in this video, when I finish off the lower lash line, I actually used the deeper mahogany for that. I didn't point to any of the mattes when I was using them in this video. I just completely forgot, so I'm sorry, but just so you guys know in advance, I did use the mahogany to finish off the lower lash line, not the purple. So as you can see, everything does blend out really well. I think I may have used some kind of separate transition shadow to blend out the purple, but at this point I can't recall. I am voicing over this over a week after I filmed this. I know, it's bad. I think I may have used something like just a MAC wedge kind of a shade that may have used that to blend it out, but I couldn't tell you. Here you can see me using the mahogany. I'm not using it super opaque, so you can see it just adds a nice amount of darkness. And then you can see I am starting to try and cut the crease. Attempting. The attempt went questionably. Yeah, not much more to say here. I'm like voicing over this in segments because I keep accidentally repeating what I say at the end of the video, so I'm gonna stop talking now. I will resume talking in the next voice clip. Sorry, I know this is super messy. I couldn't get the line right, so I decided to just go straight into the gold shimmer to cover up all the mistakes that I kept making, and I think that ended up more or less saving the look. So this is how it's looking so far. The blending on the outer corner ended up being a little bit rougher than I expected, but that was just me kind of, you know, not being good at placing cut crease stuff. As you can see, the rest of the eyeshadow palette performed beautifully. I am sorry that I forgot to point at which mattes I was using, but I mean, it's not a very big palette. You can definitely just kind of guess pretty easily what I was using. The other palette I got from this brand is a little bit more neutral, so that's why I went for this one first. I just really loved the darker toned yellow with the purple. Like Deadwood is such a perfect name for this palette. Just gonna continue. I added some yellow to the lower lash line, just a little bit, and then finally for my inner corner highlight, I'm shifting gears to using this Divina shade. This is Vela. Very pretty. I do want to feature more of my Divina collection this year at some point in time. I do have several. They kind of had taken a back seat to Terra Moons, but I think this year will be the year that I will show off some of my Divina collection. So this is my eye look. I threw on some lashes and mascara, and now I'm going to finish off the eyes and the rest of the face. So I held up the NABLA Cupid's arrow in Lavender because I popped that on the waterline. Now bear in mind, it really is not going to last in the waterline because it is a shadow stick. I mostly just had it for the photos. For bronzer, I have been really liking this PHYTOSURGENCE bronzer. It works really well. It does require a lot of building up to really show up on me, but I will say I did purposefully get shade 2, which is very light, because I am terrible at applying bronzer and I would much rather have to build up than accidentally over apply. So as you can see, it gives such a soft, just amount of dimension to my face, and the rosy undertones make it a particularly unique shade in my bronzer collection, so that's why I went for it. Because of it, I'm not going to be getting the MAC one, but anyways, using the melting powder blush with my Flower Nose blush brush. As you can see, these two products together are going to give the most perfect, beautiful, diffused blush look that I have basically probably ever done in my entire life. I was so stunned at how beautiful my cheeks ended up turning out for this look. The SUQQU melting powder blushes, it is just the worst tragedy ever that they've been discontinued. This is the Super Shock highlighter and still loading. I don't know if this is available anymore, but I just wanted to go for a soft purple highlighter to match with the purple eyeshadow. I think I probably could have gone for a different shade, honestly, but I just wanted to try something. And then I use that on my nose and my chin. And then lastly, I'm going to be using one of the Romand Glasting Color Glosses to finish off this look. I will say with the Glasting Color Glosses, they are really pretty, but you do have to layer them up to see more than just a sheer hint of color. So you'll see in this application that I do apply multiple layers. After that it is pretty, but don't apply one layer and then be disappointed. You do have to go in multiple times, just letting you guys know. Okay, so this is going to be my finished look. Another attempt at a cut crease, which I feel like my eye shape and my eye position and the placement of how much lid space I have between my eye and my eyebrow has never made cut creases easy for me. I feel like monolids and cut creases, depending on the kind of monolid you have, can sometimes be really hard. I feel like I have a lot less space between the two, so it's always a lot harder for me to position my cut crease, especially given my eye shape, but I think I'm slowly making a little bit of progress. So as you can see, here is how everything turned out. I absolutely love how this looks. Yellows and purples are probably the most challenging complementary colors to make work. Red and green probably are a close second, but that's more just because of the fact that red and green tend to have such a heavy holiday association. But in terms of just pure like making them look good together, I think yellow and purple are the most difficult, because if you mix them together the wrong way, you literally get like poop. So I think I did a pretty good job though by just making sure the colors didn't actually touch, and then by covering up everything else with just a lot of shimmer, I think I was able to get it to work. This kind of gives me the vibes of that one Nomad palette that was inspired by like France. So just as some information, I don't know how much I'm going to go over it in the voiceover, but this is a Chinese makeup brand started by a Chinese influencer. I believe her handle is like NARIMI or something like that. There is an Instagram account with her handle. I don't know if it's actually her or not, but it's not active at all. There's not been a post on it for a very long time. If you do want to get these, you do have to use a forwarding service for Taobao. So the problem is Taobao does have an internal forwarding service, which I've used before for clothes. But if you try and make an account and try and add these to your cart, you will get a warning that says does not ship to your region. That is because certain, for some reason, pretty much all cosmetics and perfumes are not allowed to be shipped out by Taobao's own internal forwarding service. I believe it falls loosely under the category of flammable / hazardous substances, and so they just kind of, to be better safe than sorry, all the makeup kind of got axed. I've noticed even because of the fact that you can't buy food off of Taobao internationally either, I've noticed some people even say that if they try and get food-shaped charms or food-shaped glitters for like crafts and stuff, they even can't get that because Taobao doesn't individually vet everything. They just have certain keywords and search terms that if the item has it, then they just blanket say does not ship to your country. So if you want to get your hands on anything from NARIMI's brand, you do have to use an actual third-party shopping service. Just out of force of habit, I've been using Spree now for a very long time, but I've heard SUQQU is cheaper because their shopping fees are like basically zero, whereas Spree now has I think a 10 to 15% service fee. I think SUQQU actually like doesn't or something, so I probably could save some money switching to SUQQU, but I just have used Spree now for so long, I'm just used to it. I am pretty friendly with the agents there and I've had good experiences, so you can use whatever forwarding service you want to. It's a little confusing at first, but they can usually help you out. There are a couple new releases on the Taobao site right now that I have sitting in my Spree Now cart. Maybe I'll get them, maybe I won't. I do try and get makeup whenever I'm in China, but like obviously I only go to China, especially since 2020, I've only been back once. Hopefully I can go back this spring, and if so, I'll stock up again. But anyways, that is just some information on people who want to try and buy Chinese makeup straight from Taobao. You can save a lot of money versus going through resellers, but do bear in mind it can be a little bit more complicated. In the case of more obscure small brands like this, you probably are not going to find resellers selling these. You have to go through a third-party shopping service if you want them, but either way, that you know, this is fine. There are also small accounts on Instagram that specialize in helping people obtain these kinds of palettes. You can always DM them if you want to. That's more one-on-one service. It'll probably cost you a little bit more, but it also may be easier for you to use so that you can like actually be talking to somebody. That you're always welcome to try that too. I just use Spree Now. But yeah, that's gonna finish off this look. Super pretty. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I did do my lip swatches of all the Roman glosses. I just need to do a video where I actually talk about the finishes and do some hand comparisons. I just have not gotten around to doing that yet. I know I'm so late at this point, but it'll get up eventually. So with that all being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed this small little purple and yellow video. If there are palettes you want to see me revisit, you're always welcome to leave it in the comments. I'll make a note of it. But yeah, hope you guys don't mind so far. Hope you guys are having a good start to 2024, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!